Hey everybody, Bones here, Bones Garage, just bringing you update what's going on at the garage. So, 1963 Chevy C-10. We have the rear end over here that I showed you in another video, and we have it all now cleaned out. Remember, this is the old axle shaft that goes in tube, and you can see how dirty that is, and that's what was inside the tubes as well. So I went ahead and roto-rooted all the tubes, got all the dirt out, and you can even see here how bad it was in there. That's some of the dirt that was inside. Here are the old bearings that were in there. You see all that dirt? That was all caked up in the whole thing. So you have to get all the little cracks and crevices. You have to get everything. There's an oil feed tube that goes here. So as your gear is spinning, it's picking up oil, throwing it around the top, and then there's a hole right here. And that is what feeds the front pinion bearings. And then here's another one right there. So those oil passages actually feed the pinion bearing, and the rear differential covers are made to make that fluid or oil travel up the cover through the inside of the housing and then down into this oil galley right here, this passageway. So when I see those square covers, all I can think to myself is he's going to burn up at some point his front pinion bearing, because you're not getting enough oil there. Because when the oil comes up, it hits a square. Those extra capacity rear end covers that are come down and are square. When the oil hits that top portion, it's hard for it to make a 90-degree turn. But on the covers are, they're actually made for the oil to flow that way and through the differential. So don't change your covers. Leave the original covers, or leave something close to the original cover design, because that is going to make a difference in the way your oil flows through your differential. And there's what I'm talking about. That ring gear right here, that sits right behind here. That's your differential cover. And the oil follows that through up into the case up here. And you could just barely see it. Way back there, there's a hole. And it falls into that hole, and that's what oils your front pinion bearings. And we did everything. I took a guess at the front pinion bearing shim, because when I got it, there was no shim up there, and the shims back here were wrong on the ring and carrier. So I had to just figure it out. So I had to take it in, put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, until I got a good feel for the rear. You always have to have some preload on these carriers, as well as preload on the pinion, because if you don't, when that pinion turns, it's going to want to actually do this under pressure, under stress, and the carrier and the ring gear are going to want to go that way under that same amount of stress. So you're going to, if you don't have preload set correctly, you will push that carrier out, you will push the pinion, cock it sideways, and then your gears will skip and actually eat up your teeth, or just crack your whole case. Everything. It will just destroy the rear. So you have to have all of these preloads correct. If you don't, you can destroy the case. Now, we also have a nice pattern here. It's not 100% what I would like to see, but it's a very nice, acceptable pattern. It will work fine. But I'm going to give it one more shot. I'd like to see it not as much towards the root. Again, this is the root of the tooth down at the bottom. So I'd like to see it come up a little bit different the way it's hitting the gear. I'm going to try. I'm just not sure if the shim packs we have will allow me to get it any better. This is totally 100% acceptable. It's just I'd like to see it a little bit better. And I want to show you, these are the shims I'm talking about. See that? Actually, if we look here, this piece of sticky note is about, there it is about the same thickness as that shim. Come on, there you go. See? We're about the same thickness, about thousandths of an inch. That little shim is the difference between getting this 100% right and 100% wrong. This shim, if I was to take this shim and move it from this side to this side, I am supposed to have between 6 and 10 thousandths of an inch of backlash here. And backlash is the amount of movement between the two gears. So your pinion gear sits right here, and it's the amount of movement between those two gears. It allows the growth of the gears as they get hot. If I was to take this shim and move it from here to here, that would pretty much lock up the pinion and the ring gear together. In other words, you wouldn't have enough room for the pinion and the ring gear to actually turn. And these are the tolerances we're talking about with doing one of these. It is not an exact science. That's a very good, it looks really nice, that will work. Or every once in a while you get the, oh, that is just absolutely perfect. And then you get the, damn it, it just doesn't want to come in. It doesn't want to, So there's a lot that goes on with these. And, you're using a micrometer or a gauge. And let's see if we can get a video. Here we go. And let me see if I can get the shim in there. And we can give you a thousandth of an inch. And there you go. That's the thickness of this shim. Tens, hundreds, thousands. 80. So it's 80 thousandths of an inch, which is about the thickness of a piece of paper. So these are the tolerances we're talking about with doing these rear ends. And we're talking same tolerances on a lot of the motor stuff. Thousandths of an inch, hundreds of thousandths of an inch. That is the difference between something working perfectly and something not working at all. So there you go, guys. We have a really nice, acceptable pattern there, but I'm going to try later on to see if I can get it a little bit closer. If I can't, no big deal. I'll just go back to what we have. It's just a matter of crushing that crush sleeve down. And again, these are the crush sleeves. That's the thickness of them. You can see how thick they are. It takes a lot to crush these. And those are the tools we use to crush them. See that big 3/4 of an inch breaker bar there and that huge monkey wrench? I take the monkey wrench, I grab the yoke right over here, and then I take the breaker bar with a 3/4 inch socket and I turn it, and you'll watch the breaker bar actually go from straight to flexing bent by the time you get that collar to start crushing. It takes a lot to crush it. So there you go, guys. I will talk to you real soon. Have fun. I'll try, and if I take this back, when I take this back apart again, I will see if I can do a full video of me putting it back together and showing you how they go. Alrighty, have fun. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.